You never know what's in store. Just do you. Just do you. Just do you. Just do you. Come on in here. Like and share this live. It's Dr. Barbara Swinney. And we're getting ready to go to school today. I hope you brought something to write with. Because what you're waiting for. Never know what's in store. Just do you. Just do you. Come on in. I'm Dr. Barbara Swinney. I'm the founder and CEO of Deeper Women Lead Global. I help women in leadership heal, lead, and leverage their stories for legacy. Get your friends in here. Like and share this live. Get everybody in here. Tell them Dr. Swinney's on and she's ready to take us to school. Hey, Anthony Harmon. Guess what computer I'm using? Come on in, like and share this live. We're getting ready to go to school. For the past 9 days, we've been talking all about identity. We're going to continue that work with the identity today, and I've got some very interesting facts, some that blew my mind today. Remember, my job is just to crack you open. Can't get a transformation in 30 minutes, but you're going to have to engage in your own transformation. Like and share this live. Let everybody know that Dr. Swinney's on, and as soon as India finishes, we're going to jump right in and get started. You see my chart paper behind me because we are going to school. Like and share this live. Get all of your friends in here. Tell them Dr. Swinney's on. It's time to go to school. Go to the principal's office. Lose. Come on in, come on in, come on in. This is day 10. Alexa off. This is day 10 for me on TikTok. Alexa off. Just do what I say. Okay. This is day 10 for me on TikTok. I'm new to TikTok, new to going live on TikTok, semi-new to Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, but I've been live on them before. So I'm excited that I'm keeping my run going with TikTok. Y'all let me know how I'm doing. I think I already know. Do I need to flip my camera on TikTok? I think I already know. Let me flip my camera so y'all can be engaged in what I'm doing today. If you are on TikTok, make sure you go up to the top of the screen and get your daily heart me. Let me know that you're here and you're an engager. If you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, please make sure you're putting your information in the chat because I can't see you because I'm streaming from one platform. So make sure you put a hello, I'm here in the chat for me so that I'll know you here. Yes, Raven. Raven is in the house. Let's check here for Raven. Present. Say present, Raven. Thank you so much for coming in. We're going to continue some of our work, the work that we've done over the past 10 days. Well, this makes day 10. We've talked all about identity and how your identity is formed. And we've talked about the mind and how your body really performs at the will of your subconscious emotion, subconscious mind. So it takes our conscious mind to make sure we're filtering all of the stuff that comes in because your conscious mind doesn't have the ability to reject. It can only receive. That's why the Bible says, guard your heart, guard your mind, be careful of what you're letting in. And after I share this information with you today, I hope that you're going to be more careful about what you're taking in, including social media. So get everybody in here. Go and let everybody know that I'm on. We're going to school today. I'm on all social media platforms. Go ahead and follow me at Dr. Barbara Swinney on all social media platforms. If you have not registered for my 3-day live intensive next week, April 14th, 15th, and 16th, we're going to spend 2 hours each night going into the science of identity. We are working to get to the bottom of who we are so we can start showing up in who we are fully. So we can start showing up fully just in the authority of who we are. So we can build a platform, so we can write the book, so that we can build the businesses, so we can create legacy. I don't know about y'all, but I'm in my legacy leaving stage. I'm at the point where everything in my life has to matter. Is anybody else there with me? I'm at the point where if it's not on purpose, then I'm not on. I can't go to the party. Conversations matter to me now because now we've got to be on purpose. Now we can't ignore the fact that we have just been whoever other people said we're supposed to be. So get people in here. We're going to get to work. Yes, you're learning. Thank you. Let me put you on the screen, Raven. Raven said, present, I'm learning and enjoying. Thank you so much for coming, Raven. So I'm going to share with you today what's happening in your mind. We talked a little bit about that, but I'm going to go a little deeper into it. Let me turn it to make sure TikTok can see. Yesterday, do y'all remember this number 10%? Everybody type in 10% again. We talked about Maslow's hierarchy of needs and how it's important. And I know we studied this in school, but you might not remember. They may not have taught it in this context. You know, we just learned stuff. We didn't really learn what it meant to our lives. With Maslow's hierarchy of needs, there are 5 levels, and it matters which level you're living on. You have to get healed and fulfilled at each level. And the first level is having your physiological needs met, meaning food, shelter, you've got somewhere to stay, you know where you're going every day. There's some level of predictability, a need for safety, just feeling emotionally safe, safe in relationships, safe in your house, just being safe, safe financially, have some level of security. And then there's belonging. Now, yesterday I talked about the fact that this is where we get tripped up a lot, in the area of belonging, because we were created to be together. We were created to belong. We were created to want to be with each other. But what that sometimes leads to is the need to be accepted makes us start to shape shifting into what everybody else wants us to do. That's why you went and got that degree that you didn't want. That's why you worked that job for all of those years that you didn't like, because somebody told you. I know when I was a senior in high school or junior, senior in high school, my daddy said, you either need to be a teacher or you need to do something in technology. He said, they're going to always need teachers and there's always going to be technology. Daddy was right. Daddy was right. So I became a teacher, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to be a writer. Well, got that part down. I wanted to be a free thinker. That's what I wanted to do. But in order to be accepted, I didn't want to get rejected. Not that my daddy was going to just out and out reject me, but you guys know what I'm talking about. A lot of you went into things that your parents wanted you to do and not necessarily something that you wanted to do. So that's where this area right here, we really have to heal this area at the belonging area so that we don't start shifting into what other people want us to do. Shifting into being a good mother, playing the role of a good mother, playing the role of a good wife, or whatever that thing is for you. We want to make sure that we are filled up enough, that we're not so needy of other people accepting us. And then there's the esteem level. That's where your confidence is. That's where you have your achievements. You are making things happen, and you are having a successful life. And then this top one, I told everybody yesterday to write 10% up here. Only 10% of the over 8 billion people on the planet are truly self-aware. So if you have a group of 10 friends, I'm just saying, we're all crazy. But when you get to the bottom of your own crazy and you start to understand your own crazy, it gives you compassion for other people's crazy. So my goal is to have more of us in here in this 10% so we can come back and get the people who are not healed yet. We want to be fully healed and fully operating, fully self-actualized, so we can come back and get the people who are not. That's what that 10% is about. Now I'm going to show you, for those of you that have not been with me for the entire 10 days, I'm going to show you quickly how your mind is working. I know we've seen our brains, but we haven't seen our mind. And most of us don't know how our minds are working. So sometimes we think we're stuck, but really we're just repeating a pattern because we've been put in a system. We've been following a system since we were 3. We've been following an external system since we were old enough to go to school. And before that, we were in our mama's system. We were in our parents' home. We followed their system. So some type of system has been operating as our executive functioning our whole lives. And then you get to some point and you look around and you realize, oh my gosh, this whole system is a sham. These are shenanigans. So how do we make the shift? And as we talk about identity, and we've learned that identity is constructed by all of the information that we're getting as it's coming in, how do we then, in our conscious mind, take all the stuff captive and make use of it? How do we distinguish right from wrong, fact from fiction, story from feeling or truth? So I'm going to show you this real quick. This is your mind right here. It's one big sphere cut into 2. This is your conscious mind and this is your subconscious mind. This down here would be your body. I'm not going to do the whole thing today. I'm just doing this to make a point so you'll understand the next point, okay? So this is your body. Your body operates at the will of the subconscious mind. 95% of the information we get goes into our subconscious mind, which means we're just around here on autopilot. And if you don't know that, if you're not understanding that, you're not going to do what you need to do as your conscious mind take ownership and make the decisions that you need to make so that your body ultimately is doing what you want it to do. Does that make sense? Type "make sense" in the comments if that makes sense to you. I know it's heavy identity work, but this is the science behind identity. I'm going to show you how much information your mind actually takes in, your brain actually processes a day. And then you'll see why you're crazy. Your brain processes 11 million bits of information per second. A bit is the smallest amount of information that your brain can process, the smallest measurement that your brain can process. And your brain takes in 11 million bits per second. Y'all, do y'all know how much information that is? That's a ton of information. However, it only processes that's 660 million bits per minute. It takes in 11 million bits per second, 660 million bits per minute. And guess what? You're only consciously aware of 40 to 50 bits of that information. Now that's just crazy to me. That blew my mind. So if I told you, hold on. If I told you that your body operates at the will of the subconscious mind, if I told you that, where do you think all of those other bits of information are going that the brain is not consciously processing? Where do you think that information is going? Somebody type it in the chat. If you are consciously processing only 40 to 50 bits of information per second, but you take in 11 million bits per second, where do you think the rest of those bits are going? Type it in there. Let's see who knows. Type it in there. Thank you for liking the live. Talia, is that how you say your name? Where do you think the information is going? That's right. That's right. It's going into your subconscious mind, guys. So all of the time that you're scrolling on TikTok, on social media, you're taking in all of that information and it's just becoming cemented in your subconscious mind. Yeah, we're learning today. We're learning today, Rachel. All of that information is going into your subconscious mind, and then your body starts to operate at the will of all of that information that you've allowed to come into your body, your mind. That's why it's so important that we guard our hearts and guard your mind and don't just let anything get in there, because your subconscious mind does not have the ability to reject. Does that make sense? Type makes sense if it makes sense. And really, your conscious mind is only handling about 3,000 bits of information. So all of that stuff, y'all, we're just soaking it in. So we've talked all about what's happening outside and how our conscious mind is basically kind of the ruling mind, kind of the part of us that takes all of the information and then it tells the subconscious mind what to do, or it presses it down into the subconscious mind. It acts as a filter for the subconscious mind. You can consciously block what's going into the conscious mind, or before it gets to the subconscious mind, you're filtering it. You're saying, that's not true. Whatever that negative thought is, nope, that's not true. We're not going to take that. And yesterday I told you that it only takes 63 days for a thought to take root. Only takes 63 days for a thought to take root. So if you are subjected to negative thoughts, negative conversation, negative interactions, negative engagement every day for 63 days, you are literally changing your identity. You are literally subconsciously changing your identity. That's why it's important that you know what's happening, so you will learn how to guard what's coming in and what's going out. So today, we've talked about the mind and all of the stuff that's coming in. Now we're going to lean in a bit to what's happening inside. Because of all the stuff that's going on in our minds, we have to be aware of what's happening in our bodies. How many of you have ever just been walking around and then all of a sudden you just start to feel sad for no reason? If you're with me, type a 1 in the chat. You're just walking, you're just having a regular day, and then you just feel sad all of a sudden. Just sad all of a sudden. Nothing really happened. Nothing was wrong, but you could feel your demeanor shift. That's because of all of the stuff that's going on, that's getting into your subconscious mind, that consciously you've not dealt with. I can remember a time, and this was years ago, I was recently divorced. It would be the first time that my daughter was off to college, and the first time that the other daughter was going to her father's house. And it was at the end of the day. And usually, what would happen at the end of the day, you're feeling the end of the day. Now your body shifts into, this is the end of the workday. It's time to go home. And then all of a sudden, I started thinking about the fact that nobody's at home. Out of all of these years, now I'm going home to an empty house. I physically felt my demeanor shift. But because by that time I was practicing mind-body awareness, I was aware of what was happening in my body. And I started asking myself, well, okay, what's that? Why are you feeling that way? And I said, oh, it's because my kids are not at home. So I was sitting at my desk and I literally stood up and I said, you get to choose. Your kids are not at home. You get to go to the mall. You get to do whatever you want to do. I had to consciously make the shift. I had to consciously be aware of what was happening in my body so that I could make the shift. What practices do you use when you're feeling your state or your being change? How can we take these thoughts captive and create new thoughts? Did y'all know that thoughts were things? Thoughts are like real estate in your mind. So you don't necessarily get rid of the old thoughts, but you can create new roadways. They're called neural pathways. You can create new neural pathways. So I was basically having to rewire my brain because I had become so accustomed. My body was accustomed to going home and hanging out with my children after work. And now that that wasn't possible, I had to figure out, okay, now I got to get to me. It's back to that identity again. Who am I? I know who I am, but who am I now? Who do I need to become now? And that's a pretty scary place to be. Who am I now? It's important that you are aware of what's happening in your body and don't just let the feelings sit there. There was another time, um, getting a divorce or having a dramatic pause or something devastating that happens in your life. It does cause trauma to your life. And you really do have to consciously engage in your own healing. Concrete thoughts or ambiguous thoughts are real. The thoughts, it might not be a real thing, but the thoughts actually take up space. That's what I'm saying. Does that make sense? Mr. G, Mr. G63, Mr. G63? Is that what you mean? Your thoughts actually take up space. So you have to consciously, thank you so much for the roses. You have to consciously tell yourself a different story. You have to consciously take those scriptures that are contrary or that can combat those negative thoughts that are coming in there. Let's talk about some of the things that you're having to fight against. Some of those, the moments that come and you might be trying to start a business. For me, when I was writing a book, it was, oh my gosh, what if they don't like it? Oh my goodness. They're gonna know my business. They're gonna know who I am in the dark. They're gonna know that I've been hurting behind this smile. They're gonna know. What are they gonna know? What are some of the negative things you've told yourself? Thank you, Mr. Kretz. What are some negative things you've told yourself? Type them in the chat. Mr. G, do we need to change proximity? We're in school. Do you need to come closer to my desk? I'm just trying to see. Are you being serious with your questions? Or are you trying to be the class clown? What kind of thoughts, Mr. G? What kind of negative thoughts do you feel like have taken root in your mind? I don't have my tree. That you feel like have taken root and are basically growing up to be weeds in your mind. What's blocking you? What's getting in your way? Facebook, what's getting in your way? What's stopping you from doing what you want to do? What's the story you're telling yourself? I'll give you a second. Put it in the chat. What's blocking you? What's blocking you? What's blocking you? Okay, Mr. G, bye-bye. He said, obviously, you directed my question to a lower level. I'll leave. Bye-bye. Thank you. What's blocking you? Anybody want to share what's blocking them? What's getting in your way? Negative thoughts that are getting in your way. I'm not ready. What if I fail? What if this doesn't work? This one goes back to that belonging. What will they think? Because it's important to us what other people think. And we say a lot, well, I don't care what they think. You were really designed to care what they think. Now, what we don't do is let what they think rule what we do. Because if we didn't care what they thought, why would we do any of the stuff that we do? So we have to make sure that we are taking those thoughts captive, being aware of what's happening in our bodies. I want you to put your hand on your chest right now. And I just want you to breathe. Because some of us don't take the time to be still long enough to feel what's happening in our bodies. Some of us have just been numb. I want you to feel your shoulders. Have you ever gone to get a massage and you just felt like they had to be tearing a muscle or something because your muscles are so tight? Some of us don't take the time to even see or feel what's happening in our shoulders. What kind of reaction is our body having to all of the stuff that's happening with us? We have to take the time to feel. Don't go numb, because I promise you, it will come back when you're least expected. There was a time when I remember literally we had a bay window in our other house, and I was hurting so bad. And I sat on one side and pretended that God was actually in the room with me physically and sitting on the other side. And I said, God, this sucks. I hate this. I don't want to go through this. And then I said, but I want to feel every bit of it, because I knew if I had gone numb, then it was going to come back in a way that I wouldn't recognize it, in a way that I wouldn't be able to deal with it. So I want us to make sure that we have mind, now that you know how your mind works, and you have body awareness. We've heard about EQ. We've heard about emotional intelligence. And now you've heard about body intelligence, being aware of what's happening in your body. I'm hopeful that as you continue with this week, that as you walk around tomorrow, as you interact and engage with people, pay attention to what's happening in your body. And I promise you, you'll be able to connect it to a thought. Pay attention. Sometimes you feel like somebody just put a wet blanket over you, and you're like, what is that? Why am I feeling that? Okay, too much social media. I need to come off of social media and get quiet and still and spend time with God so you can reconnect with who you really are. Thank you so much for reposting, Scarlett. So tonight was a quick night. This will be the first night that we'll almost get off on time. But here's what I want you guys to do. Remember these 11 million bits of information that come into your mind every second. I want you to keep that number in your head. I want you to keep this 11 million bits, and the fact that we can only process, we're only conscious of 40 to 50 bits of information of that 11 million bits. So think about all of the stuff that you are taking in. It's important that you are taking time for yourself, with yourself, and silencing the noise that life creates so you can stay connected to yourself. Thank you so much, Mom. Oh, Mom of Three. Thank you so much. She said powerful information. Thank you so much. You have to stay reconnected, especially if you're a mom and you're running around and you're taking care of everybody's needs but yours. So if you will join us next week, April 14th, 15th, and 16th, we're going to be doing a 3-day live intensive from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern. Leverage what you lost, reclaiming the woman behind the story. We're going to be working on the science of identity. We've gone into a bit of it over the last few days, but guys, you got to know that there's so much more, so that you'll understand how to reconnect with yourself, why you're thinking what you're thinking, how to move past it, and then what do we do about it? Now we have the knowledge. How do we shift to wisdom? How do we use the knowledge? If you go to deeperwomenleagueglobal.org/events, you can register there. Again, we're going to be studying the science of identity. We're going to be providing the space for you to think. And that's the time when you tell your family, this is my time. This is time for me to get to me. I've given y'all all that I can give you today. But for these 3 days, for 2 hours a night, I need this time for me. I have to reconnect with me. I have to get better with me so I can show up differently and show up better for you. If you're new to me, I'm Dr. Barbara Swinney. I'm a life and leadership coach and coach trainer. I'm the founder and CEO of Deeper Women Lead Global. I help women in leadership heal, lead, and leverage their stories for legacy so they can write a book, they can build a business, they can build a brand, and they can create a movement. I want us all to heal so we can all leverage our stories, so we can release the fear and anxiety that we've been telling ourselves from whatever trauma we've had, whether it's betrayal trauma or, somebody was supposed to take care of you and didn't. Somebody was supposed to love you and didn't. All of those instances are a type of trauma, and they leave an impression. And if we don't deal with them consciously and spiritually, they come back in ways that we're not ready to deal with. So go over, I'll say it one more time, to deeperwomenleagueglobal.org/events. If you are not following me already, follow me at Dr. Barbara Swinney on all social media platforms. This is the work that I do. Healing is my business, leading and leveraging, teaching people how to get over or how to heal and move through, how to lead through all of the stuff that you've been through, and then turn our pain into purpose, turn our pain into profit, increase our income, make these stories pay us back for everything that they took from us. So I'm going to close with that. Thank you so much for joining on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and TikTok. Thank you so much. I'm learning about TikTok, and you guys are awesome and amazing. Mr. Krebs has been in here almost every night. Thank you so much for coming in and supporting me. Thank you for everybody who's new to me. You could have stopped by any live, but you stopped by this one, and I certainly do appreciate it. And with that, we are going to leave. Thank you so much for stopping by. Go to deeperwomenleagueglobal.org/events. Sign up for the 3-day live intensive that's happening next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That's the 14th, 15th, and 16th. Get in there so we can start doing this identity work. We are reclaiming the woman behind the story. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Stephen Lopez. Peace. Thank you, guys. I will see you tomorrow at 7 o'clock. same time, we'll be right here. Thank you.